Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our last group coaching session. I'm excited. So today we'll be just looking at costing and financial calculations. I know most of us are struggling with this, and I think this is just going to be important to take notes. Please take notes because I know all of us are struggling with this. Okay. All right, so this is how things are looking like. So we are here right now. We're on the 25th. We're doing our group coaching. Sorry for that. I think I put 26 days, the 25th today. And also we're still busy with our second individual coaching sessions. We have been just struggling because of the load shedding, but I think we'll try and push today and tomorrow and maybe a few days next week. And then after that, we'll have our session on the 2nd of December, where we're closing out, and then we'll still continue with our third individual coaching session. Great stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna mention the groups. All of you know your groups where you belong. We are Group A right now. So we're gonna just talk about costing, why we are costing our products. So costing your product, we're going to start there. It provides a way in which we can manage how much our product or service is costing us to manufacture or perform, and allows us to monitor and manage these costs. But we still go back to the same thing. We must always track this. We can never know how to cost if we're not tracking anything and managing anything. But it's important to also just price your products properly. So costing is important, and you need to ensure that all expenses are covered so you can make a profit. Okay. So I always say when people say I'm breaking even, you can't break even forever. The good thing you're breaking even because you can pay all your bills and all your staff members and you can still get your products into your shop, but you can't break even forever. You still need to make a profit. That's how your business will go. Right, so why is costing important? Costing is important because it helps you know the profitability of your business, of your operations, and how to price your products or services. So proper costing is complex, and many businesses are not doing it correctly. Okay, so today we're going to be showing you different types of costing. I think somebody must mute there. Okay, Nokpila, maybe you can help us with the retail, the guys who buys and sell. I know we did, in one of the webinars, we did talk to this, but it would be nice to just help us with an example on how to do our costing when it comes to selling products.
Morning, guys. I hope you are all well. Yes, so thank you, Posh. We will go through the example for those businesses that actually, can you go back, Posh, here? Yes. Yeah, for the businesses that buy stock and for resale. So you buy like a finished product so that you can resell it to your customers. So the example here, we have our total cost of 4,000 rands. And we have so remember our total cost, include our direct cost and also our indirect cost. So that's your, our direct cost, that's your cost of sales, and our indirect cost, those are your overheads, including transport, electricity, and all other expenses that you incur in order for you to get your products ready. So those are the total cost. And then we have a cost price per unit. How much does it cost me to make to sell one dress? I go to town to source the dress or the hoodies. The example we're gonna use right now is hoodies. How much does it cost me to get one hoodie ready to be sold? And that is 70 rands. And what is our selling price? How much do we charge a customer for one hoodie? So we charge one customer 100 rands. And then what is required? So this is just the information that we are given. Then we are required to do these calculations. how much is the markup? So markup is another name for profit. How much did we make, or how much are we going to make? So we need to calculate that. Remember how we calculate in markup or our profits. We say selling price per unit minus cost price. So we already been given our selling price, which is 100 rand, and we've already been given a cost price, which is 70 rand. Can we then calculate our profits or our markup? You can type on the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and give us the answer. Lesiban is saying it's 30 rands. Any different answer? Eric also. Okay. Yes. So the markup. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I made a mistake here. It's not 100 minus 30. It's 100 minus 70. So yes, it's 30 rands. The markup or our profits is 30 rands. So it's very important for us to understand how we calculate our profit. So we take the cost, and we minus what we are receiving from sales. So then we get our profits. Okay, and then in order for us to know where we are break even, we are at break even, how many hoodies do we need to sell? So how many hoodies will have to be sold in order for us to break even? Remember, ukuthi break even is when our total cost, the money that we spent in order for us to get the products ready, it should be equal to the total revenue, the money that we receive from selling the product. So we break even when our total revenue are equal to our total cost. And at this point, we know our total cost are 4,000 rands. So if our total cost are 4,000 rands, then what is our break-even value? You can also just type on the chat. If our total cost is 4,000 rands, what is our break-even value? Remember, break-even is when our total costs are equal to total revenue. Where are we going to break even? Okay, Ngaba. Ngaba, I'm just gonna put you on hold for now. I just want us to understand. I wanna get to know whether you understand, Uguti. How do we break even? When do we break even? So right now we've been given that our total cost is 4,000 rands, but we have not been given our total revenue. But because we have been given our total cost, we should know automatically that we will break even at 4,000 rands. Ne? Yes. Yes, thanks, Tulani. So we will break even at 4,000 rands. So at this point, we have not been given our total revenue, and we are supposed to calculate our total revenue. So how then do we do that? Remember, with the total revenue, we take our selling price and we multiply that by the number of units that we are going to sell, or the number of units that we have already sold. At this point, we have our selling price, which is 100 rands, but we do not know the number of units, the number of hoodies that we want to sell. So now we are gonna go back to maths and solve for X. We do have our total cost, which should be equal to our total revenue of 4,000 rands. And then we have our selling price, which is 100. And then our number of units will then be X. Then we need to solve for X. We take the 100 selling price multiplied by X, which is our units, what we are looking for. And then we have 100X. And then we just need to then solve for X. We take the 4,000, we bring it down. We take the 100X, we bring it down, and then we divide by 100. Oh, Kosam, guys, I hope I'm not confusing you. I hope I'm not confusing you. Are you guys still following?
Yeah, I think they can ask questions if maybe they don't. Yeah. Even now, I think maybe what we do so that they don't forget, what they confused about, maybe they can just, after you do this,
you can just type on the chat, ne? Yeah, so basically here we want to understand, we'll say, how many hoodies do we need to sell in order for us to be at break even, in order for us to at least receive the 4,000 rands in revenue. Yes. So yeah, I know some people do get it. I think it was Tulani Ongaba, and then L+EARN is also giving us an answer now. We need to sell 40 units of hoodies in order for us to be at break even. Okay. Yeah. Oh yay. Okay, great. So a lot of people are getting it. Thank you. Okay. Any questions? You can just type on the chat, then I will try to clarify. Okay, Posh, you can move on to the next question.
I see Nompilo is saying that color again.
Yeah, I know it can be tricky. Yeah, and sometimes difficult to explain, but yeah.
There's Nompilo again. I don't know if you want to answer that. This says, so the profit will be 1.2.
Okay. How did you come up with 1.2, Nompilo?
Yeah, because that will be like, maybe if she's confused, then you can rectify that stuff.
Yeah.
Come, Nompilo. Guys, this is not a training session, it's a coaching session.
You are allowed to comment.
We need you to talk more than we talking. Yeah. I think what we can do, I don't know if you guys have done your coaching session. So what we can do, we can use in the coaching session, what you can do, you can use her business as an example, then for her to understand. So maybe use her costs and her type of business to actually work this out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
okay.
Right.
No, it's fine. I will follow up on that with you, and then we can do it specifically for your business.
Yeah. Because I think with costing, and that's why I said maybe let's do different types of costing, because I know for every business the costing is different. You know, your variable cost might be my fixed cost. So the businesses are different, so it's always confusing. But it's better if maybe I work with you, we do your costing using your own business and your own costs, so that you can understand.
Yeah, and also this example just gave us enough information to be able to calculate what we are calculating now. So for the question that Nompilo is asking, we're gonna need to add more information on the cost price, total cost, selling price. We're gonna need more information in order for you to better understand what you are asking. So L+EARN is saying a break even is confusing. So basically, L+EARN, the break even is when your total cost, which is your direct and indirect cost, are equal to your revenue. So you are not making any profit, but you are able, your revenue is able to cover all the costs in the business.
Yeah.
So here we're just trying to calculate how much stock do you need to sell in order for you to break even. To be where you are not making profit, but you are able to cover all the costs. Okay.
All right.
Okay, cool. And then, so remember, Guguti, we said we need to sell 40 items in order for us to break even, in order for us to be where our profit equals to our total cost. So now we are saying we don't want to break even this time, but we want to at least earn a profit of 1,000 rands.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use the same formula where we take our total cost, we then add the 1,000 rands. In order, our total cost are 5,000 rands. 4,000 rands. So if we are saying we want to earn at least 1,000 rands in profit, that means our revenue should be our total cost plus the profit. And the profit is how much? Is 1,000 rands. So our total revenue should be 5,000 rands. Do you understand that, guys? We want to earn a profit of 1,000 rands. and how much are we then supposed to earn in revenue. So we still need to earn the 4,000 rands that will cover all the costs, and a 1,000 rand profit over and above that. So that means our revenue that we should generate is 5,000 rands. And
so
then
so we need to now find out how much we need to sell to actually get that 1,000 rand.
Yes, in order for us to get that 1,000 rands. So we do the same calculation we did before. We used 4,000 rands because we broke even at 4,000, but now we need to make 5,000 rands. So we also solve for X, just like we did, and we divide the hundreds by 100, and then what you do on the left, you need to do on the right. You divide 5,000 by 100, and that should give you the number of units that you need to sell in order for us to make a profit of 1,000 rands. Do we understand? Remember, Gutsi, it's the same calculation that we did previously. The only difference now is that we are adding 1,000 rands because we must make a profit of 1,000 rands. Okay.
Is there anyone typing an answer?
Oh yeah, Nampila is saying I took it far. No, don't worry. We will look at your business specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it means we need to sell 50. Is it?
Yes.
We need to sell 50
in order for us to make a profit.
And I think from here, what you need to do, if you do this, because you already have a target now of 50, so you know that every time I sell 50, I'm sure I'm getting 5,000 rand for the 1,000 rand profit. So you can even plan for the next month. Next month, I want to push. I want to sell more hoodies than 50 so that I can make 2,000 rand profit. So you can always have those targets, create targets. After 3 months, I want to be here. After 4 months, I want to be here. But if you don't do this, you're not going to know. You can't have a sales target, you know. So if you do this, then you know what is your sales target. Because I mean, I've heard some of you saying, by next year, I want to sell 400 chickens. I'm selling 300 now. You know, by end of next year, I want to be selling 400 chickens. That's a sales target. And from there, you should know what profit you're going to receive from selling 400 since you're selling 300. So if you do this calculation properly, you'll always know what you're going to make before you even sell anything. All right, so that's why you're projecting your sales. But if you're not doing your costing exercise, you're not going to know that.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to do, Portia? I'm just going to put this on an Excel sheet and try to create like a formula so that what they just need to do is just to enter the values.
Yeah. Like a costing software. You're creating a costing software. All you do, they put their variable cost, they can put their fixed cost, they can put the number of units to sell or sold. Yeah, all right.
Then Bona calculates the totals automatically. Bona, they just need to slot in their values.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, you can on.
All right. So we are done with the trading part or the retail part. So we're just gonna go to producing and manufacturing. So production cost shows all the expenses involved with the company conducting its business, while manufacturing costs represent only the expenses necessary to make the product. So if I'm baking a cake, or I've got a bakery, let me say I'm not the baker, I'm running the business, I'm busy marketing my business, I'm all over the show, but I've got this one person who bakes all the cakes. You know, so that is a direct cost because that person is involved in baking the cake. All right, and then all the other raw materials that goes into the cake or the ingredients that go into the cake, those are your costs, direct costs. And then you've got your indirect costs. Those are the other things on the side. We know the rent, the insurance. I mean, you can still bake the cake without your insurance, you know. So that's an indirect cost, your rent, all that. Yeah. So you need to, when you price it, you mustn't just thumb suck, you know. You must still work out those costs so that you can charge people, and then you can know what is your sales target. For me to cover those variable costs and the fixed costs, this is how much I need to charge, or this is how many cakes I need to make, or hoodies that I need to manufacture if you are manufacturing hoodies. All right? Yeah, so the most important things to note I just thought that's going to be easy to do this. Let's just do what is it to know. A business production costs are the total expenses of doing business. All right. You're a production company. You have to look at all your costs. Those are your production costs. You could be even producing a lot of different stuff. Those are your production costs. But then you've got a manufacturing costs. Those are different because they talk to the product that you're making. So manufacturing costs are the expenses directly related to making the product. Okay. And then both production costs and manufacturing costs must be included in the calculation of per item cost of doing business. So you must still consider your variable costs, all right, which are your production costs, all the expenses that are happening in the business. You're running around, you're taking a taxi, or you're driving around, you're putting petrol. Those are your production costs because you're trying to manufacture this particular product, but you need to go get stock, and but you still have to think about them when you're making that hoodie or you're quoting somebody. So the Department of Education says we want 500 hoodies. So you must think of all those costs. You mustn't just say, okay, I bought this hoodie for 100 Rand. It's not like the example that Nokia just did, where you just buy and sell. This is different. You're going to make the 500 of them from scratch. So you have to buy material, you have to buy threads, you must have machines, you must have labor, So all those things you need to consider when you're quoting. You're not going to quote them that same amount, You're going to quote more because you're going to spend time in making the hoodies. Okay. All right. So we've got an example that Nokula is going to do. And please ask questions because I know most people are in this industry. They're manufacturing, they're making stuff. And then later we'll talk to the service businesses. But please ask questions. We don't want you to leave confused. I know that anything that has to do with mathematics sometimes it just makes people nervous. I get nervous too sometimes. But I think if you do an exercise with your own business, this is going to be easy. And I think, guys, can we do maybe the coaching sessions and maybe focus on this part so that people can understand? All right, Nokula, you can shoot.
Okay, thanks, Push. So guys, this is the example for the manufacturing business. I know people like Unompilo, Unomfundo, Koliswa, they are in a manufacturing business. They make their products from scratch. So how then do you account for the cost and how do you record your your revenues? So here, Sinama direct material cost. Remember, Lapayana in the retail, we just had total cost because you just go there, you source the product ready for it to be sold. But here you need to be able to identify the material cost, the raw material cost, the direct labor cost. So it's kind of different on how you actually record. So here we have direct material cost. If you are in the baking business or catering business, that will mean your ingredients, the rice you use to cook the savory watwads, chemicals that you use for your detergents, fabric if you are in a dressmaking business, like small stuff, even like threads, like Posha was making an example, the buttons, the zippers, and all of those things. So you need to record them, like line item. This is how much I spent on fabric. This is how much I'm going to spend on, the chemical or whatever. And then also direct labor cost, because some of you, you have okay, I'm just going to make an example in Gonompila because if business is more like specialized, it deals with chemicals. So you need someone who understands chemicals, who knows how to mix those chemicals in order for you to get high quality detergent. So that is your direct labor, that guy or that lady who is actually making the soap or mixing the fabric soften is your direct labor. So you need to know how much do you pay your direct labor. What are your direct labor costs? And then they are direct labor and direct material cost, or direct cost. They are also called prime cost because they are primary cost. Everything else insurance, transports, and everything else can come later on. But the primary cost here are the costs that you incur when you are trying to get the products ready. And then we do have direct materials and we do have labor cost. What are our prime costs then? We need to calculate that together. You can type on the chat or you can just unmute. Thank you, Lesibona. Anyone with a different answer? Okay, so Portia did mention that as much as you need, the direct raw material cost, you need the direct labor cost, but there are other costs that are involved in order for you to get your products ready. We have overheads, electricity, rental, selling and distribution. The people that you pay who go and stand on stalls and try to sell the products for you, or walk up down the streets selling the products for you, those are your overheads. Those are your overheads cost, or you can just call them indirect cost. We need to add them as part of our cost, but obviously you add them below the prime cost, but they play a huge role in increasing the cost of the product. So here the example says that is 500 rands. So we then need to have the total manufacturing cost. So that's the total cost of everything, including the prime cost and our overheads. What are the total manufacturing costs? But do you guys understand how we calculated the manufacturing costs? Does it make sense? Okay, that's good. And then now the whole idea, the whole reason we are doing all these calculations is because we want to understand how to cost our product. At the end of the day, we need to know per unit how much did the product cost us. So then we need to know also estimate how much do you want to sell, how much do you want to produce. And in this case, we are saying the total number of finished products or finished goods is 50. How then do we know how much did each product or each unit cost us? We're gonna take the total manufacturing cost, which is the total cost of producing everything in that particular month, and then we divide it by the number of finished goods that we produced. Then we're gonna get a cost per item, a cost per hoodie, a cost per soap, a cost per a cake. Yeah, so do we understand that? And then we can just do that calculation. 3,000 rands, and then we divide it by 50, which is the number of finished goods. Okay, I think we are getting it. Yeah. Any question? Because I think we are on the right track. We understand now. Okay. Okay, I think Posh, you can move on.
So I think after this is the cost of making the product. Now you're gonna have to decide, okay, which markup this is where you can decide to put the markup there.
Yeah. So what then you can do if it costs you 60 rands to produce one item, then you can be like, okay, I want to get 50% of that cost price. If it costs me 60 rands, at least I must get 30 rands in profits. And then your selling price will be the cost price plus the 30 rands. So remember, Guti, our cost per product is 60 rands, and we want to get at least 50% of that 60 rands in profit. So that will be 30 rands.
Yeah. So the other thing that you could do, you always check. I've once checked, I think online, I Googled something where you can check rates for industries. So industries have got like a guide of how you can actually charge for different industries, even for service businesses. So if maybe it's textiles, you're making hoodies, and they say, okay, you can charge 45% markup, then you can follow that tool. because then it's everybody in that industry is doing the same, so that you don't. People sometimes they doubt, why is it so cheap? So if you just want to follow what the competitors are doing or what the industry is doing, you can actually find out what is the markup percentage that usually, or the rate that industry is using. So you can actually find this out.
Yeah. Okay, Eric's hand is up.
Okay. Eric?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Actually, I have a question. I don't know if it will be relevant. Since we are small businesses, we apply for funding, grants, or enter competitions. Now, let's say it's a typical example. Let's say I'm into sewing, and now I receive a fabric. Maybe I've just won a competition, or I just applied for funding, and then I get the fabric for the whole year for free. Will that change the overhead cost? Because not the overheads, I mean the manufacturing cost, because the direct cost, because now I no longer buy the fabric for the whole year. Will that affect my turnover or my cost? So if so, how can I structure my prices? Will the price still the same, or will I decrease because I no longer buy the fabric?
Don't decrease anything. I'm gonna give you advice. Don't decrease anything. You still charge the same. Then your business is not gonna grow. You are given that funding and that material, Eric, so that you grow your business. There's no, and your clients don't know this. Remember, your customers don't know this. So you still do the same thing. Otherwise, because you're saving as a business, but me as a customer, I don't know that. So you still have to charge me. And especially, I like the example of sewing, because usually people who sew, they usually have a lot of stock. That's there, because if they buy a zip, they don't buy one little zip. They buy a big string of zip, or a lot of buttons, so those things are still there. They have them in, but they still charge. You must charge for them because you bought them with your money. Remember, even if they're just lying there. And then the loan thing, please, that loan is not for you to give freebies, ne? Or to decrease your prices or whatever. It's for you to make more money. So you're saving on your side as a business, or you're not buying that material or any other thing that you need to buy. But you still charge the same, please. So if somebody asks for a quotation, don't think, I've got material anyway, I'll charge them 300 rather than 600. Yeah, so still charge the same.
Okay, thanks.
What you can also do, Lesibana, is just to get an average or an estimated price of that material. You can just shop around, see how much that material costs. Then you can use that as the basis of your calculation.
And usually as a business owner, when they will know maybe this material per meter, it's 50 rand per meter. So if Portia is looking for a dress and she's wearing a size 40, she's gonna need maybe 5 meters of this material. So just for that, I'm gonna charge her 250 for the material. So you still include it, please, as your leather, as your fabric, as your direct material. All right. And then remember, there's also somebody who's going to be making this dress, or if you're making this, is the labor there, the direct labor costs. Everything, the way Nokpila explained it, it's still going to be the same. Yeah, don't change anything. And I'm so happy that you asked that question. I never thought about it, but I'm happy you asked, because I think that's where we make our mistakes. I've got a grant, so my chickens are gonna be 50 rand. I got a grant anyway. So then you are not in business, Okay.
Even if they got that grant and then they bought equipment, you still need to record that equipment in your statement of financial position. So as much as you got it for free, but it's part of your assets now, you still need to report it as such.
Yes. Thank you so much for that. Right, I think we can move on. The most interesting one and very, very challenging.
Very tricky.
Very tricky, but I'm getting there. I'm getting the hang of it. All right. So because I'm a service business too. So service costing is the process of identifying all costs associated with building, supporting, and delivering your service. So examples of service cost components include equipment, staff labor, professional fees, software, license fees, charges. I think, Eric, you are this business because you are a service business. And I think Botabi, so there's a lot of people, printing guys, all that. It's your time involved. It's your hands involved because you're working. It's you running around. You've got people working for you. You've got equipment. So when somebody's asking for a quote, I've got this event, you're already thinking, oh, what are going to be my cost? So this person is in Sentin, Eric. They want you to run an event for them. You living in, where do you live? In Pretoria?
No, I live in Joburg South.
Okay, so you live in Joburg South? Yeah, so I'm saying, even if you're providing a service, Eric, you still need to think about the cost that you're going to incur actually running around and planning this event, you know? So if somebody comes to you, don't just be quick with the code to, no, this event will be this much. You need to go back and sit down. Okay, I'm gonna need to plan this thing for 5 days, or I need 10 days to do this. How many hours do I need to actually plan this event? And then you look at all these costs that Nokila was talking about, and all the equipment that you're gonna use, everything, you put it together, the people that are working for you, what things you need to hire, and then you come up with the code, you know, but also think about your time that you take into actually provide that. So you need to get your pricing right when it comes to this. So I found out some information because I know I've always had that issue where I'm thinking I'm charging this to this particular company, you know, or this particular person, or for this particular project. But then you never charge the same thing because it also depends on the customer. They say it's called like a perceived value to customer type of costing. So some people are like, I don't see the value in maybe your expertise. So some people don't see the value because they don't know you. But if people know you, they know your value, they know how you provide your services, you've got quality and whatever, then when you say to them it's 300,000, they'll pay the 300,000. And then you've got those customers who will always say, 300 is too much. Now you have to negotiate, but you also be careful when you negotiate, you must make sure all your costs are covered. So then you maybe charge them maybe 260. You know, so the costing is very tricky when it comes in. There's a lot of negotiation that happens, you know, especially when you don't have a contract with that particular or company, maybe they're giving you a retainer or something. All right. So you must learn how to negotiate when you are in this service costing business. And then I also heard that there's a cost plus pricing. So here you first need to know how to identify what Nopila was talking about, your direct, your indirect costs, and your fixed costs. So you need to know that. And you can also look at your competitors. Like I'm saying, you look at what your competitors are doing. Just like I said with the other business, if you want to know your markup or your rates for that industry, you can do that. So with service businesses also, I've seen, I was doing a project, I think 2 years ago, and they wanted to hire an expert, you know, but they didn't know how much this person is gonna charge us. And then the person sent the code, they were like, so much. So, and we're gonna use this person for 6 months. No. Let's maybe use this person for a year and then pay him that rate for the year. But let's go do our research. What if he's right? And then we went to go look and we found that he was overcharging. You know, as an expert, when you go to that a website, you can see this person actually is supposed to be charging 1,200 Rand an hour. But he was saying he's charging 2.6 per hour, you know. So these are the things that you need to know. Always find out that this is what the industry is doing, this is what I'm gonna do. All right. So the important thing, you need to get your pricing right, and then also get your costing right, because before you price, you need to cost. All right. So Nopila's just gonna give us an example. Please, I know this one is a tricky one. And I've gone through that same issue where I'm trying to charge, and sometimes you charge thinking, you know, it's not something serious, but I'm gonna charge 1,200, you know, per hour. And then they give you 3 hours only per day to do that job. And then I have to take an Uber. So far, it takes 600 Rand of that money. And I haven't paid the person who's doing my admin. I haven't looked at my printing. I need to print stuff for these the learners that I'm going to. So you see, you need to plan in advance before you give your quote or your rate per hour. All right, because first you don't know how many hours you're going to be given. You don't know how much assistance you're going to need from someone. So it's very important to make sure you don't just thumb suck. You go back and look at your cost. Right. Okay, Nokila is gonna give us an example. Please, for the guys who are doing service, ask questions.
So just to add what Portia is saying with regards to charging per hour, I think you can charge for labor per hour. Okay, leave it out. Leave out the indirect cost, the transport, the people who will be doing the capturing for you or who will be setting up the stage for you if you are in an events business. But understand your time, like as an expert in that industry. How much do you charge a person per hour? And then you take that, you add back all the indirect costs, then you can come up with the price for your service. So yes, you can still charge for per hour for your expertise, for your skills, and then add back. Don't forget to add back those indirect costs, because if you are not gonna add them back, then you will definitely work on a loss.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the example here we have our material cost. So it differs per business. I just took examples of businesses that are in Group A. We have people who are doing waste management. We have people who are doing printing and promotions. So that's printing material. They need ink for their printers. They need softwares. Those are people who do like graphic designs and all of those things. Learning material. If you are in the training, and fertilizers for those who are doing farming and like the stuff that you need. Even if you do not own equipment like Utabi, so for instance he needs to hire amplifier and all those big speakers, you still include them here as your material cost. It's important that you include it. You know how much you hire a speaker for. You include that as your direct material cost. And then you need to have your labor cost. The people who you take, they go with you, they set up the stage. If you are in farming, the guys who are tendering the farm, taking care of the animals or doing the planting and all of those things, you need to include that in your cost. And then you have your overheads. So those are your running costs. Admin, if you are selling and distribution, salaries for your admin people, electricity and rental. So basically the cost structure is the same. What you need to understand are the cost, the cost items in your specific business. Like I was saying, Guti, if you are in waste management, the price of collecting the waste, I'm not really familiar with that business, but you understand what I'm trying to say. That you need to understand the costs that are related to your business, but the structure is the same. You need to have material cost, direct material cost, direct labor cost, and direct and overheads as well, and that will give you a total cost of 3,000 rands according to this example. And then Portia did mention that you don't have to just suck your markup or the profit percentage. You can actually do a research to see how much other businesses or your competitors are charging. Then you can use that percentage as well, or if you feel like you need to increase it, you can increase it. If you feel like you need to decrease it, you can decrease it. And then that will make you allow you to be able to calculate your selling price or the price you charge the customers for your services. So now I want us to calculate the markup or the profit in rands. We have been given the total cost and we have been given the markup percentage. Okay, Nompilo is saying it is 900 rands. Do we have a different answer? Okay, yes, so in rands, our profit is 900 rands. Then how do we calculate our selling price, the money that we're going to charge the customers for the services we are rendering. Remember, ukuthi selling price is cost price plus profit. We know how much our cost price is, and we know how much our profit is or our markup is. So what is our selling price?
Yes.
Any different answer? Okay. Yes. So yeah, our selling price, the money that we charge the customer is gonna be 3,900 rand. So guys, basically we just need to understand what are the costs that are involved in our businesses, in our individual businesses, and then the structure is the same. You need to record your material, your direct material, you need to record your direct labor, and you need to include your overheads as well. That's how you come up with your total cost, and then you can be able to calculate your profit or your markup based on the research you've done around the industry. If it's 30%, it's 30%. So then you are able to plan ahead as to how much you are looking to receive in that particular period. Okay, any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so I think, so if you're a small business owner who would prefer to monitor your company's cash flow with your own two eyes, there are financial accounting equations that you should be familiar with. And I think we did this session is the time when we were talking about net profit, gross profit, markup, and VAT. That was that time. So we're just going to talk about markup because markup is important. And then Nompilo, you can shoot.
Good morning, guys.
Yebo.
Yes, I just want to find out in this whole calculation thing, in terms of like a company where you want to run promotions or discounts, how does that come into the calculation? Like, how do you calculate that? It's like you wanna spoil your customers, or maybe your regular customers, you wanna give them a discount. Like, how do you calculate things like that?
Yeah, so what you could do, I'll tell you what I used to do because I used to also sell products like you. So what you do if you're giving discounts, or maybe you see this product is not moving. So let me say the cost price was 50 rand to make the product, and then your markup was 30 rand. So you were selling this product for 80 rand. So you can discount that 30 rand. So you still have your costs. You understand? So you still cover your cost of making that product. You mustn't make the mistake of giving people too much discount. Then, just the costs. If it was 50 rand, the discount must be 50 rand. Must stay there.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So then you take that markup, the markup that you had could be the one that you take off. So you're not losing still. So you're breaking even on that product. You get it?
Oh.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
Thank you so much.
So that's why I always say I laugh, when we walk around the shops and then you see something, it was 2,000 rand, all of a sudden it's 999. And we're like, oh, what a discount, We get excited, but actually those people are not making a loss. Probably that product cost them 700 rand to make. They're probably still making the 299 on top. So that's how business works. There's no way they give you that cut and, they're not making a profit. Okay? All right. So, Dr. you can explain that, and we have 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. So basically, it's either you break even or at least you get 10% of profits. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can shoot push.
Yeah. So the selling price of a product is, we're just reinforcing because Nokila went through this. The selling price is equal to your cost price plus your markup, and our markup per product is the difference between the cost of the product and the selling price of that product. So we can also write it as markup is equal to selling price minus cost price. So I think what we must do, Nokila, also send the slide, because these slides I think are nice. They are short and nice. It's not a webinar, but at least they just give a nice example so the guys can remind themselves if they forget. All right. Example then, Nokila.
Sorry, man, I was muted. So if we have, if our cost price is 70 rand and our selling price is 100 rands, how much is our profit or how much is our markup? We are selling one product for 100 rand and it costed us 70 rand to make it, to produce it. How much profit are we making? Okay, we have an answer. Any different? Okay, yes. So our markup is 30 rand because we say selling price less cost price, and then it gives us our markup. Okay. Second question, if the cost price is 50 rands and the markup is 25%, how much are we going to sell the product for? Remember, is selling price, we say selling price equals to cost price plus markup. We first need to convert the 25% into a rand value. So it's gonna be 50 rand cost price multiplied by 25%, and then we're gonna get our profits in our markup in a rand value, and then we can be able to determine the selling price. I do not have a calculator. Please help.
So that's the 25%.
Yeah.
There's
so,
no.
Yeah. This is the selling price.
Okay, so people understand.
Yeah. Yes. Most definitely.
Okay, yeah, guys, you get it. It's just that we're using small numbers. When we're using your amounts, it will be interesting. But just use these small examples as a guide for you.
It's a basic understanding.
Yeah. Any questions? Yeah. So the guys that we haven't done coaching with, the one-on-one coachings, can we maybe just focus on this? Because I feel like there's a lot of people who get confused. So maybe we, like in the session, we just work on something, work on your costs. All right.
What they can do, Portia, they can also just come with their actual costs, so we can work with something real. Yeah.
Okay, guys. The usual. Hey, Nompilo, you are busy. I see the hat you are wearing. Are you busy? Are you making the products?
No, it's a bonnet.
Okay, Tebo, where's your face? Okay, so guys, some of you, I know you are in my group. I'm gonna start calling you today. It's a short one. We just follow up. But if you want to, because it's a follow-up session from the big session that we had, please just answer the call, even if you can do like a 30-45 minutes session. But if you've got like serious questions, especially around finances and costing in particular, please let's talk about it. And so that, because next year you're gonna start again and then you forget everything. So maybe let's have something. And I think Nokpila sent you a workbook with all the tools. Please use them. I hope you saw that, eh? Nokpila, where did you send it?
On email.
Yeah, please check your emails because it's a big Excel workbook. So please look at that because it has a lot of tools that you can use for your business. You know how to do income statement. You just put in it an Excel and then it just gives you the answers automatically. So please. And then Nokpila is gonna create a costing sheet for you where you can just put in your cost and then it calculates automatically. All right. Thank you very much. See you on Friday on the 2nd with our celebration of completing. And good luck, guys, with your pitches. For those who pitched, wish you all the best. You were here. You were on point. Good luck and see you on the 2nd. Eh? Don't be late. Please, can you log in early? At least 10 minutes, 5 minutes early, please. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.